Tonight, PSC not impressed with office damages. Stakeholders outline turtle conservation plans. And disaster agency completes cyclone preparedness program. Very good evening. All government ministries and departments have been issued a stern warning by the Public Service Commission not to damage properties they are renting in. This comes in the light of numerous complaints received by the PSC from landlords relating to damage sustained to their properties by government departments and ministries. With government forking out just over $20 million every year for rent, this has forced the PSC to issue a circular to all state bodies to respect their tenancy agreements.
It's no secret that government rents a couple of properties to cater for some of its departments and ministries. But it's been revealed that some of these landlords are not happy with the extent of damage caused by these various arms of government. That has resulted in the PSC issuing a circular to all government ministries and departments yesterday. Permanent Secretary Parmesh Chand says the Commission continues to receive a large number of complaints from landlords because of the extensive damage caused to buildings rented by government. Chand says, quote, "This is due to the lack of responsibility and in some cases negligence by ministries, departments, agencies and even civil servants occupying these buildings," unquote. Chand says as a result of these complaints, landlords have had to bear the unnecessary costs of repairing these extensive damages, which he adds should not have happened in the first place if due care and diligence had been observed. Chand says under the tenancy and lease agreements signed between government and respective landlords, the tenant, in this case government, will be responsible for repairs of damage sustained to these properties. The PSC has therefore called on all state agencies and ministries to take full responsibility and ensure that as tenants they respect their surroundings. In the 2014 budget, the PSC is charged with paying just over $22.7 million for rental of various office spaces by government agencies. Amile Vunilamba, Fiji One News.
A toddler fell into a pool yesterday afternoon and drowned. The incident occurred at Moira village in Naviti in Yasawa. Police spokesperson Atunaisa Sokomuri said the 15-month-old boy was playing with other children when he fell into the pool. With the school holidays just around the corner, police are calling on parents to keep close tabs on their children. That brings the drowning toll now to 39 compared to 62 for the same period last year. Today marks World Fisheries Day, and it couldn't have come at a better time for local authorities as they try and map out conservation plans for turtles in our waters. Conservation authorities are also working on aligning national activities with the 2013 to 2017 Marine Turtle Action Plan. Halitestat has more on the story.
Fighting for the conservation of turtles have never been easy here, especially when turtles are targeted for traditional purposes. Efforts are now being made to revive the Fiji Sea Turtle Steering Committee that will look into such sensitive issues.
In Fiji, as we all know, that it's a major delicacy and also it's a cultural totem to some of the societies or coastal communities. So that is something that we are trying to work with to establish relationship with communities, work with them on how best we can move forward to protect sea turtles in Fiji.
The committee will spearhead the implementation of strategies from 2013 to 2017. These strategies also include various turtle conservation projects around the country.
Basically, it's going to consolidate efforts that has been contributed by the interested NGOs that are into environmental work in the protection of sea turtles in Fiji. So we are going to look at coordinating all the little projects that are currently going to lead to the protection of sea turtle at national level.
The role of the Onivonu or turtle monitors at various community levels will also be strengthened.
The communities right now we have to look after the nesting beach sites and the foraging ground where they live. The place we have to keep it and not to disturb their life.
Halitestat, Fiji One News.
Still on turtle conservation, the Department of Fisheries is working on some form of continuity for the Fiji Sea Turtle Recovery Plan. The existing plan draws to an end next month.
The Fiji Sea Turtle Recovery Plan was designed to supplement the 10-year moratorium placed on turtles. However, the plan was only for 5 years and that comes to an end this year. Authorities are working on reviving and extending this plan for another 5 years.
We have recovery by 50% of nesting populations and also foraging populations of all the three main species of sea turtles that we have, which are green turtles, hawksbill turtle, loggerheads, and the fourth one is leatherbacks.
The existing recovery plan has produced some positive results. The new plan will ensure an effective management of turtle harvest, especially for traditional purposes.
We want to map out all the nesting grounds and for the species, for each of the three species that nest in Fiji. And then we want to see at least a recovery of 20 to 30% within the next 3 to 5 years. And then we also wanted to do mapping of the foraging grounds, the feeding areas.
Lack of resources as well as sufficient scientific data has been a worry for the department. The plan will be implemented with the help of turtle monitors.
The Northern Division, they've got the Downy Vonu network, which doing their own community work and preaching and telling all the schools and the communities that we need to protect the sea turtles, because otherwise it will not result well for us as stewards of these resources to our future children.
The recovery plan will be for 2014 to 2018. Haliteshtat, Fiji One News.
6 people were arrested by police yesterday after being found in possession of dried leaves believed to be marijuana. In the first incident, 5 people traveling from Singatoka to Suva were stopped by police at Pacific Harbour. Police spokesperson Atunaisa Sokomuri said the group was searched and were found with dried leaves believed to be marijuana. They were interviewed and later released. Meanwhile, a man is in police custody after a similar sort of leaves was found in his Nasinu home. In both cases, the leaves have been sent to Kornivia for analysis. The Fiji Red Cross Society has already completed its preparedness phase for this cyclone season. This is to get their staff and the public on full alert, just in case a cyclone does hit the country.
Monitoring current weather patterns is part of the Fiji Red Cross Society's work. With the country now in cyclone season, the preparation mode is once again underway.
We have completed our pre-cyclone brief, which is done around the country in our 2 main islands, in the northern and also in the western division, conducting cyclone briefs with our stakeholders, together with our volunteers and our executives in the branches, to familiarize them with the role that we play when it comes to disaster response, and also learning about what its ministries do, and also other NGOs that are all acting during a disaster response in Fiji.
They have also traveled all over the country, working closely with other stakeholders and ensuring they're well prepared.
You can boldly say that Fiji Red Cross have all its containers all up to its maximum capacity in terms of the relief items that we do give out, and thanks to the donors who have been supporting us all this time in making this happen. And I think Fiji Red Cross is quite ready if something happens overnight.
The focus of the training is getting families to be aware of what to do when disaster strikes.
We are focusing on family preparedness. Mostly we do community awareness, going around into communities and teaching them, but we emphasize more into how each individual families are prepared in a coming disaster, preparing clothes, food and all those stuffs, essential stuffs for them to be ready whenever something happens.
Red Cross has branches in all 4 divisions around the country. Nrubukelangi, Fiji One News.
Ahead in the news, parents urged to capitalize on free education program. And Sky Pacific Roadshow a hit in the north. Hello again. The Minister for Education, Philip Mbole, has urged parents to take advantage of the free education program offered by government next year. That was the message as he opened the Ratu Nalukuya Primary School in Saunaka Village this morning.
The Education Minister urged parents to ensure that children's needs like proper footwear, uniforms and meals were of the best quality to enhance their work in school in the coming year.
tumbal itu, tumbal sani non so cimento kata-kata di dilo sini. Saya kena cimento kena gereng-gereng, ini mereka suara ni kamu. Orang telah sono mana sahaja ni siapa orang orang itu.
Bole said the ministry will be visiting schools in the Western Division in the coming weeks to affirm school managers and administration staff of the payment of school fees by government in the coming year and not to burden children and their parents with this. Bole, who opened the newly built classes 1 to 3 at the Ratu Nalukuya Primary School today, said the prospect of having a new number of children in the education system in the coming year is one that they greatly anticipated.
I'm glad to be here to open the school. Some of you who are closely associated with the school will know that I had said no to the opening of the school earlier on because we were going to open it just as a class 1 to class 3 school. We think put a limitation on the expansion of the school.
Madium Bulletin, Fiji 1 News.
FINAD Fiji monitors are presently conducting interviews in schools in the 9 education districts around Fiji. This is to help them better understand the implementation experience in these schools after FINAD Fiji was rolled out nationally in April this year. The national rollout came after the national teacher training held by the Ministry of Education over the 2012 to 2013 period. The nationwide implementation means that 197,000 students around the country are now learning about personal money management and investment from Class 1 to Form 6. One school to benefit is Sambeto Central School, a 10-minute drive between Nandi and Lautoka. The school says financial education is transforming lives of students and their families. The initiative is funded by the Australian government and is jointly managed by the Ministry of Education and PFIP. Close to 150 students from various cultural and ethnic backgrounds graduated from the Confucius Institute last night. The group learned about Chinese culture and language. Over the last 17 weeks, these students discovered different perspectives of Chinese culture, such as culinary skills, handicraft and language. Given the high demand of the Chinese language course, the University of the South Pacific hopes to roll out this program into its other campuses.
That while we continue to get staff from Hanban, the overall and the long-term plan is for some of the local staff, to be competent in the language, to go on and do the credit program, and of course maybe take the scholarship to China so that you could come back and teach in the centers.
With increased bilateral cooperation between Fiji and the People's Republic of China, the Chinese councillor here says these initiatives will assist in strengthening ties.
We will spare no effort in further developing our significant partnership of cooperation. And we aim to develop our bilateral cooperation in an all-dimensional way. So in the past few years, our relationship in political, economic, culture, military, police, education, all areas have been growing very rapidly.
Key stakeholders in the agriculture sector met today to discuss the best way forward for land use planning in the country. They were advised to consider other environment assessment factors when giving advice to farmers. Drobukelangi reports.
These are the people who work closely with farmers, advising them on best practices for their land. They've been urged to consider other factors when they carry out environment assessments. While past practice has been based on what crop is best for that soil type, they now need to carry out a market value analysis.
Financial analysis. How profitable will it be? Like if they are growing it to supplement their income, will it really do that? Or will the amount of effort or labor they put into that does not does not give the return, is not profitable for them.
The impact it will have on the environment has not been addressed properly in the past. This is one of area which now needs to be fixed.
In the past, this is just carried out by technical officers. You know, we sit in our office and we ourselves, we determine what the environmental impact is. We ourselves determine what the market conditions will be. But under these planning guidelines, what we're trying to promote is the farmers and the resource owners, the villagers themselves also contribute to this discussion.
Agricultural officials must also consider the input from other communities, especially when they're making the final decision.
The communities will identify that very special plant, and in the land use plan, you will demarcate that off as protected, either for biodiversity area or because of cultural area. It's a cultural significant site. Okay, so you're not basing it on soils alone now. You're basing it on other factors.
This training ended today. Its recommendation will be taken into account by the Ministry of Agriculture. Ndrubu Kalangi, Fiji One News.
The Fiji Financial Intelligence Unit has referred close to 20 money laundering and unexplained wealth cases to the Office of Director Public Prosecutions. The FIU hopes that more cases will be successfully convicted and act as a deterrent to those engaging in such crimes.
2012 was a good year for the Fiji Financial Intelligence Unit, especially since 5 money laundering cases were successfully convicted by the courts. This year, only one case has been successfully convicted. However, the unit is optimistic that more cases will be heard before the end of the year.
In addition to that, we have had some challenges in the border currency reporting framework. For example, we have seen a number of cases being brought before the border control officials for people engaged in currency smuggling activities.
The FIU receives an average of 400 to 500 reports of suspicious transaction report from financial institutions. Over the last 6 years, 1,600 such cases have been referred to other relevant agencies for investigation.
Before, not many people were aware of their obligations of what the anti-money laundering framework in Fiji was all about. This year we have taken extensive awareness on unexplained wealth, for example. And as a result of that awareness and outreach, the FIU has received more than 50 cases or referrals or reports or complaints from the members of the public.
Buck says it's important for people to understand what money laundering is and their obligations towards reporting these to the authorities.
If the person is able to explain the wealth, how it was earned and how it was accumulated to the satisfaction of the court, then he gets to retain the wealth. If he is unable to give satisfactory explanation how he was able to acquire those wealth and retain those wealth, and the wealth is disproportionate to the legal and lawful means, then of course the wealth will be forfeited to the state.
The FIU is working closely with the Fiji Police Force to investigate these cases. Haliteshdat, Fiji One News.
Malacca Island in Ra is the latest community to be part of the Zero Tolerance Violence Free Community campaign. Officiating at the official event yesterday was the Permanent Secretary for Social Welfare, Women and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Joe Corribueta. Malacca villagers will now undergo 8 months awareness training to address violence and abuse against women and children. Assisting the ministry with this campaign is the Fiji Women's Crisis Center and Empower Pacific. Dr. Corribueta said the campaign will contribute to more awareness opportunities. He says it will also allow Malacca villagers to effectively address violence-related issues in their communities. Yesterday's launch also coincided with celebrations to mark the Prevention of Child Abuse and Neglect Day, which is celebrated worldwide on November 19th. The campaign is all about creating conducive environments to aid the development of women and children here. The latest from around the Pacific is up next. Stay with us. The role of Pacific women involved in climate change talks in Poland continues to take center stage. One of those women is Palau national Olai Uludong. She is the chief negotiator for the Alliance of Small Island States, or AOSIS. More used to just representing a state of Palau, Olai is now the lead negotiator for 44 member states of AOSIS, which includes Fiji. The former U.S. military soldier is a graduate of the University of Guam. She pursued her master's in climate change at the University of the South Pacific. She says being a chief negotiator has been a major learning curve. She also says it's tough, especially when dealing with so many different nationalities, backgrounds and cultures. In our business news, the Fiji National University will soon have guest speakers and lecturers from ANZ Bank staff. This follows a formal agreement signed by the university and the ANZ Bank today. Under this agreement, ANZ Bank staff will provide students with mentorship and professional development advice in various areas.
Not restricted to only banking students. It's available to a wide range of students. One of the major issues that we find in Fiji is though there are graduates in different fields, the money management skills are rather shockingly limited.
ANZ Pacific Chief Executive Vishnu Mohan says the FNU is a growing institution and it's vital that students get to learn something different from what is taught in classrooms.
What we want to do is we want our senior managers to come and spend some time with the students here and essentially have conversation, have healthy conversation with them to talk about leadership, talk about banking, talk about the economic issues, and talk about the roles that financial institutions play in the economic advancement of the country, and essentially impart knowledge and wisdom and experience and also advice.
Sky Pacific's Vuoliku Roadshow got underway in the Northern Division today. Aside from marketing the reduced prices for Sky Pacific dishes, it was an opportune time for the team to engage in some corporate responsibility duties. The team is being led by Fiji Television Limited's Group Chief Executive Officer Tevita Ngonilevu. At Soy Level Primary School, the students discussed career opportunities in the media with some Fiji TV personalities. The team also handed over stationery, first aid kits and toiletries to the school's assistant head teacher, Maria Saini.
It's been a very hectic day for the Fiji television staff, especially for Sky. The demand for Sky here in Honolulu, particularly in Nambowalu, is really high. I've spoken to a few people this morning. The response has been very positive. Most of the people I spoke to said they're willing to pay for pay television, especially because of the programs that are now being offered on the Sky platform. The educational programs for the children. It's not only for sports anymore for the men and the women. They're more focused on the education of the children and raising the standard of living in the villages here in Bua.
The team will be in Seanganga tomorrow. Huge giveaways are also expected in the Sky Pacific and Fiji TV teams' remaining 2 stopover areas.
The prices for Sky currently are $99 for the whole package with installation and a free 1 month free subscription here in Nambowalu. This morning, the people of Nambowalu received another special from the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Tevita Ngonilevu, further slashed the price to $50 for everyone who purchased here today. There were giveaways. There were 2 generators given away with a free TV set.
Willem is next with sport, and Ben Ryan justifies selection for Dubai.
Yes, Phil, especially with a key playmaker out that's coming up. Also ahead, chilly conditions for Mbati Kangaroos semi-final. And Northerners off to good start in police IDC. Welcome back. Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has taken certain considerations before naming his 12-member team yesterday to compete at the Dubai and South African leg of the World Series. Ryan has selected only 3 specialist forwards in his side with 9 backs. He says the players in the team can play every position in the team when required. That was one reason behind his selection, to see if they fit well into his game plan.
That's pretty normal practice in the Sevens team. I think a lot of the teams around the world, you probably think they're forwards in the 15s game, but they're actually backs. And you know, a good example is someone like a Tim Mickelson, you know, that's a forward in the Sevens game for New Zealand, but it's an out-and-out back in 15 aside. So it's a normal sort of procedure really for Sevens.
This team will also see 4 players making their debut in the next 2 tournaments. Dropped is one of the seasoned campaigners, Eli Tinai, because of disciplinary reasons.
He needs some off-field professionalism. I'm very fond of Eli, but you draw your line as a coach and make sure that you set your standard out. Discipline is very important, and I think Eli needs a couple of tournaments to stay at home and watch the boys playing and realise how valuable it is to play for the team and how he's got to be professional on and off the field. And he accepts that, and he's going to work very hard to make sure that he's in the right place for selection next time.
Fiji's pool with England, Canada and USA for the Dubai tournament next weekend. And while some were disappointed of falling short, there were joy for others who have made a return and also debuts at the 2 tournaments starting next weekend.
Osea Kolinisau has again been given the task to lead the Digicel Fiji Sevens team in the Dubai and South Africa Sevens next weekend. The Covenant brothers rover ready for the challenge ahead after being named captain yesterday.
It's a proud moment for me, and I'm really happy and glad and looking forward to lead the team in Dubai and Port Elizabeth.
He's been a great captain. He's working hard to maintain discipline and professionalism off the field, leads by example, always gives his all on the field, and he's playing really well, which is a fundamental thing for a captain. You need him to be making sure that he's got his first starting place secure, and he's done that. He's done that very well.
Returning to the national side is lanky forward Pio Tuai. He returns to the same tournament where he left off 2 years ago, the Dubai Sevens.
For the last 2 years, I've never been for the Fiji team, so I'm glad to be part of that team to Dubai.
Some joyous occasion for Yamadia duo. 23-year-old prop Semi Kunatani and 20-year-old wing Moses Mawalu will be making their debut in the tournament.
Because I'm really happy, because this is like, for me, it's like a dream come true. Been working hard in past few years, and my aim is to be part of the Fiji team.
I feel good.
New Zealand-based Chona Tuitonga, the only overseas-based player in the side, is relishing his dream of playing for the Fiji team.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be selected in this final 12. I didn't really expect it to be this soon, but I'm here, so next aim now is to try and make it into the starting 7.
The waiting game is now over. With a mixture of young and experienced players, one thing is for sure, our players will be out to improve on their plate final performance from the Gold Coast Sevens. Irfan Khan, Fiji One News.
And the Fijiana have relocated camp to the west in anticipation of tomorrow's flight out to Dubai. They'll be traveling for almost a day before touching down in the deserts. But just how ready are they for the trip? The Women's Sevens World Series is a different ball game altogether, and the Fijiana know that.
We'll try to put all our best in this tournament. What we have to do, that's our defense and our attack.
On the eve of their departure, Coach Waningola isn't mincing his words. He's admitted there's still a lot yet to be done.
Maintenance is like our scrum and our kickoff and the line-out. We are lack on that. We fix a lot of skills for the girls, and we need them to a lot of our games, to play more games. The more games they play, we really got the experience for how they play in rugby.
Coupled with that is the discipline issue, which he knows USA, Ireland and especially New Zealand will exploit during pool play. This came out during the Bailey's Coral Coast Sevens.
A lot of yellow card last week because of pressures. They play in Fiji, but no, it's different. We went out.
That's been the focus during the training sessions throughout the entire week.
We are lucky we are in that competition because it depends of our games. They call us in the IRB series.
The Fijiana fly out tomorrow morning with a lot to play for and also a lot to prove. The Flying Fijians may not be able to field their stronger side to face a star-studded Barbarians in Twickenham next week. Coach Enoke Male is in negotiations with club coaches in London and France as some of the players are facing visa issues. UK-based Akapusingera, Nicola Matawalu and Vereniki Ngoneva are in doubt for the match. Flying Fijians manager Joe Brown says it's a matter of talking to the respective coaches to release the players. Fiji face Romania this weekend before taking on the Barbarians, which is guided by All Blacks coach Steve Hansen. The Vodafone Fiji Mbati had their first run in London this morning ahead of their semi-final clash against the Kangaroos. Coach Rick Stone emphasized on one area he feels will be crucial in the rematch against the former world champions.
It was back to basics this morning for the Fiji Mbati side, their mentor keen on perfecting skills which he feels will be crucial against the former world champions.
Well, catching and passing in tough conditions is always really important. It's always slippery and wet, the football over here, so we spend a lot of time on the basic of how good the catch is and how good their pass is and how good the transfer of the pass is really important as well. So yeah, when we get a chance to, we're not ready really to do much physically today, but we can do some of that basic stuff and it's really important to our program.
Stone knows only too well they can't afford any slip-ups against the Aussies, who will throw everything at his team.
I thought we defended pretty well against the Aussies last time. Probably got to attack a little bit more and kick a bit more. Our attack's gradually improved since the Australian game. We did a bit better against England, and obviously, we had some good little patches when we played Samoa last week.
The side had their first run today after their 4-hour journey from Preston into London yesterday, but their fine performance against Samoa in the quarterfinals last weekend has been attributed, amongst other factors, to a measured approach in training.
Really light run today, still well and truly in the recovery phase here. Boys are off for a massage this afternoon and we'll get down to some decent work tomorrow.
Asanati Waningolo, Fiji One News.
And the Mbati trained at Allianz Park, which is the home of the Saracens Rugby Club. Former Flying Fijians winger Sailosi Tangita Kembau, who's back with the club after a stint with Bristol, was there to support the team.
I think they've been awesome. Really proud Fijian, obviously, and I've been watching every single game, record every single game, and been following them really closely, watching all the updates on Twitter and obviously some of the videos have been posted on YouTube, and really proud of the boys for the way they've been going.
Snow is expected to fall this week in London, and after the Fiji Mbati wrapped up training this morning, there were first signs of it. Fiji clubs competing at the Pacific Cup tournament in Auckland remain unbeaten in the opening rounds last night. Gurjit Singh's Suva held Vatukolo to a 1-1 draw, while Lambasa made a promising start after a lackluster performance last year. Defending champions Nandi also got off to a good start, while Mba looks the team to beat. Malakai Teo and Abu Zahid were on target to beat Queensland. Pool games continue at this hour. And the Fiji Police Interformation Football Competition's reigning champions Northern Division are on track to defend their title. Laced with former Lambasa reps Kushal Naika and Frederick Bull, the Northerners made a good start on the opening day, thrashing Western 2-6-0 in their opening match. This tournament is also the selection ground for players, as officials will be naming the training squad after the tournament on Saturday to represent the police team in the Sukuna Bowl football competition next month.
8 teams consisting from Northern Division, Western Division, Eastern, and the Southern and Central Division and the police headquarters teams. We are expecting good soccer and fair play here, and also, in fact, our main aim is to choose a team for Sukuna Bowl. Then again, our theme for this particular Police IDC 2013 is achieving wellness through soccer.
The All Whites' faint hopes of qualifying for next year's World Cup in Brazil were killed off in emphatic fashion by Mexico last night. Mexico striker Oribe Peralta scored a first-half hat-trick as the visitors claimed an entertaining 4-2 win in the second leg of the World Cup qualifier in Wellington to progress to the 15th World Cup.
Leon overlapping. Penna through the middle. Wonderful ball through the middle at the park, and they've opened the scoring just like that. Peralta scores again, this time in Wellington. Leon onside. Peralta, too easy, 2-0. Mexico in control in Wellington. Flag stays down. Pena, Patrick Peralta. Quick as you like. Uribe Peralta has an international hat-trick. Roux goes forward. Rojas for Brocky. Brocky taken down. Penalty. Penalty for the New Zealanders. He still hasn't. Rolls the pass. Barbarouses. Marquez across. Penalty. Penalty. Well, they've got one. Chris James. Chris James for New Zealand. 3-1. A little delight for the all-white fans. They might not be done yet, New Zealand. Driven across, George Fallon, they've got another one! Rory Fallon lifts the roof at Westpac Stadium. What a wonderful finish. Smith across in defence, squared across. They might get one here, they do. And that will quieten the crowd once again and underline the dominance of Mexico.
Master Netani Kauvesi is a name synonymous with Queen Victoria School, and decades after his passing, he's still heralded. The 22nd Rovesi Golf Tournament in his honor will be held next week Friday at the Vatuanga Greens.
His discipline that has brought every QBS student to be somewhat a leader in Fiji.
And today, their major sponsors, Pacific Energy, re-signed with the organizers, the Verata House, at the QVS All Boys Club.
We've been supporting this tournament for the last 3 years, and it was a very easy decision for us to continue to support the Rovesi tournament because we understand the value and what he had done for not only QVS but indirectly for the country of Fiji.
Basketball Fiji also had reasons to smile today. Prior to their departure for the Oceanias, both the men's and women's national squads received some traveling gear as well as energy drinks from Coca-Cola worth $2,500.
It's a very important part of Fijian well-being and sport going forward, and to have Powerade, which is a great energy and rehydrating drink, to be linked with it will help support the team and help them be a great success.
So the timing is couldn't come at a better time as we come to our final weeks of preparation. The gear will help us during the tournament, and the products will obviously keep us energized.
England will be attempting to win the Ashes for a fourth successive time as the 5-test series got underway early in Brisbane today. The last tour down under ended in a 3-1 success for the tourists, and the travelling Barmy Army will hope for a similar performance over the winter. And Australia won the toss and elected to bat. And currently on the scoreboard, 6 for 186 from 67 overs, with Warner currently at most at 49 on the scorecards, as we are right now live crossing to Sky Pacific's Super Channel. So let's watch for a while the action that is currently happening. Very exciting.
Just a quick summary of the day. You might have switched on. You might wonder, Australia won the toss. They bat first. Chris Rogers goes early. Then David Warner plays beautifully. Shane Watson fights hard. They put a nice partnership together. At 60, the ball is changed. England say it's gone out of shape. The umpires agree. At 71, a wicket falls just on the brink of lunch. That changes the ante. Michael Clarke comes to the crease. He's out, bang, in a flash, bounced out by Stuart Broad. Then wicket.
6 for 186, and that match is live on Sky Pacific's Super Channel. That's sport.
Thanks, William. Stay with us for world news after the break. Leading world news tonight, Indonesia's president sent a series of angry tweets on Tuesday attacking Australia's Prime Minister. The two neighbouring countries are arguing bitterly over allegations that Australian intelligence spied on the Indonesian leader. But Australia isn't exactly apologising for spying. Instead, Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott says he's sorry it became a big issue.
As I said yesterday, I deeply and sincerely regret the embarrassment that media reports have caused to President Yudiano.
I believe the embarrassment should belong to the government of Australia.
The death toll in the Philippines has crossed the 4,000 mark. Nearly 2 weeks after Typhoon Haiyan struck the nation, about 1,600 people remain missing and continues to pour in for those who survived the storm. CNN witnessed long lines of people waiting for food and supplies in hard-hit Tacloban City. And now China says it plans to send a medical ship to the region. For those who survived Philippines' super typhoon Haiyan, finding food and medicine is not the only struggle. Many who lost loved ones are now dealing with unbearable grief. The CNN's Carl Panel reports from Tanawan.
The voice of an angel, a voice from the dead.
She's crying because she saw my sister and my daughters like that, having help, help.
Thousands of typhoon survivors still need help. Caring for the living is the only thing that takes Nurse Golda Boko's mind off the death of her own daughter.
I missed her, yeah. I missed her so much. And then last night I charged my phone, and when I look at, I saw the picture of my baby.
Grace Angeli was 4. Everybody just called her Angel. A real chatterbox, favourite colour yellow, favourite ice cream chocolate.
She's always writing if there's someone's having her birthday. She's having her like happy birthday.
Golda was at work at this makeshift clinic when the super typhoon hit. Outside, this was the scene. A storm-whipped tidal surge smashed through her home. Her sister Gladys May was found dead a street away, but almost 2 weeks on, Angel's body is still missing. In every toddler's face, Golda sees a reflection.
I thought, oh, baby, cute baby. She looked like my baby. Sometimes no tears cry because of maybe my daughter don't want me to cry, because if my daughter if my daughter looking me crying, they told me, Mama, don't cry.
Golda takes a break from a 24-hour shift to walk us home. Her father was here at the height of the typhoon. As floodwater surged in, the family ran out.
I said, quick, move out, maybe we will be trapped.
Golda's sister, Gladys May, grasped to this tree with one hand and clung to Angel with the other. A massive wave rolled in. She couldn't hold on.
Push. Suddenly, in a second.
All now that's left, Angel's kindergarten school books. Perfect marks on sodden pages. Neighbours thought they saw 2 young children floating away hand in hand. Golda believes that was her baby's guardian angel.
No, I believe that because my angel is an angel. Yeah.
Heavy showers and thunderstorms with gusty winds were experienced over Vanur Levu and the Lao Group today. Elsewhere, fine weather with afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms prevailed. A trough of low pressure lies southwest of Fiji and is gradually moving southeastwards. Meanwhile, an easterly wind flow prevails over most of the southwest Pacific countries. Recapping the headlines, PSC not impressed with damage caused by government departments and ministries at rented premises. Stakeholders outline turtle conservation plans, and disaster agency Fiji Red Cross Society completes cyclone preparedness program. That's Fiji One News. Thanks for joining us. Good evening.